also being streamed live on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn. So I know a bunch of people are watching there. So welcome to all of you. Also, all of these calls are archived wherever you, Josh, I don't know who that is, but if you could mute everyone or mute that person, that would be awesome. Somebody's got some background going on. Kristen, just make sure you are not muted, that you didn't get the a big mute. These are all archived on the Big Joel Show wherever you like to listen to or get your podcasts. You just put the Big Joel Show, and all of these are there as well in audio format, so you don't have to watch them. Again, a great suggestion from a while ago. If you want to watch this again, or if you're only catching a little part of it. So welcome, everyone. We're already into October. Time flies unbelievably fast. The market is still interesting and fun. And I will still say the same thing that I said 2 weeks ago and that I've been saying for a while, and that is the busier loan officers are actually getting busier. So we have a lot of loan officers tapping out, handing their licenses in. We have lots of real estate agents tapping out and handing their licenses in. That's going on all over the place. How long we're going to be in this type of market, I don't know. I am seeing from a media perspective, which I think is very interesting. I've seen the media crack a little bit on the ho-hum, the Eeyore, and start actually talking about the fact that if and when, because they will, if and when the rates drop, whether they'll drop 1%, 0.5%, a quarter, 2%, who knows, all that's going to do is take demand through the roof, which of course we all know what that means. That means the prices of the houses will go up. That's factual. There's no way to get around that. If more people want the property, it's going to go for a higher price. And the other, because of that, where I'm really seeing loan officers succeed and real estate agents succeed is those that can really talk to their clients, understand they actually have to work now, and know how to, what I call, pencil sell. They can actually do the math. Is it better? Are you better off buying a house now with a 7.5% interest rate or 7.25% or 7, whatever it is, whatever program you're using? Are you better off buying it now at X price or buying it later at a 5.25% interest rate, but paying an extra, $50,000 for the house, or whatever the numbers are? Okay, whatever you think is going to happen, in your market. And, again, this is a very, 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 very common theme right now. The most professional loan officers and real estate agents are winning right now, big time. Okay, again, the rates have been dropping and sales prices have been going up for close to 20 years now. It really hasn't been overly hard to be a real estate agent or be a loan officer. Actually, you could almost stand on a corner. I mean, I'm not belittling anything anyone does, but it was mighty easier when you didn't even have to worry about locking the loan because either the market wasn't moving or everything was just sitting at 3. Okay, it just didn't matter. And now it's real, and the real people are still succeeding even in tough markets where there's not a lot of inventory, period. End of discussion. So, I applaud everyone that's on here today. I got a whole bunch of people on the Zoom, which is awesome. And I know I got a whole bunch of people watching on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn. And I'm sure it's really for Kristen Ambos. There's probably 3 of you on here for me. It's probably all for my guest today, who's awesome, by the way, if you've seen her on here before. I'm gonna get to her right now. So today's guest is Kristen Ambos, coming in hot from the great state of Wisconsin. And we'll make it easy for everyone, Kristen. You could get to the Packer Stadium pretty quickly, right? Make it easy for everyone. It's not that far from you. What would you call where you are? It's at 10 minutes. There you go. So if you want to know where she is, 10 minutes from the Green Bay Packer Stadium. That makes it easier for anyone not from Wisconsin or from that area where she is. And Kristen, what's your average loan amount, just so people understand your market?
225.
225. There you go. Okay. So Kristen is in a market that's going to be moving a little better, like a Pittsburgh or maybe even in Hartford. market, places like that. And I'm sure she's still seeing massive price appreciation where she is. I have Kristen on because Kristen is busy and she is doing loans. She's doing a lot of loans. And she's still busy and she's still cooking as people fall off and fall away in her market. Kristen, your new title, I saw a little promo there. Are you a producing regional manager? Are you producing, what are they calling you now?
Yes, producing regional manager, yes.
Producing regional manager for the state of Wisconsin for guaranteed rate. But don't let that title sway you, people. She is a grinding loan officer at heart for sure. And I'm sure that's making it easier for her to attract good people and recruit for sure. But at her heart is closing lots of loans. So Kristen, welcome to the call. Thank you so much for spending a little time with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
So Kristen, you know what everybody wants to hear is people sit at their desk and they have a wambulance on speed dial, you know, wah, wah, the rates are too high, wah, my op sucks, they laid everyone off, wah, this business is horrible, you know, while they're all complaining and the good loan officers just put their heads down and grind. First of all, tell me, let's go the other way. Tell me what your agents are saying right now. What are they saying to you? How are they feeling about the market? How do they feel about coming into the winter? And by the way, winter's real in Wisconsin, people. How do they feel about coming into the winter? And how are they feeling about next year? What are they saying to you? Because I know you're probably a part-time psychiatrist like all the other loan officers on here. Tell me what they're saying in your market and what you're saying back.
Oh, gosh, great question to start with. So, right now, you know, it's a little bit, to be fully transparent, it's a little bit of, okay, we're going to lose some lenders and real estate agents. That's okay, because they're overworking and over trying to get offers accepted by agents that aren't writing good, you know, offers aren't, they're floppy. They're not, you guys, you all know, you can tell when an offer is well written and when somebody's just trying to throw something together, right? And so they're kind of sick of tripping over each other as far as that part is concerned. And that sentiment has been there kind of all year. But right now, as we stand, I know like the last 10 days for sure, it seems like things have really quieted down already. I think people are realizing that this market in the next 6 months is going to be a difficult one. And so they're really starting to get almost to the point where now they're calling the loan officer saying, can we get together for lunch? Can we get together for a drink? Can we do this? Can we do that? Because they want to know what you're seeing and they want to make sure, in my opinion, that their relationships with their person that's going to get the job done for them is solidified before they go into winter, because I think they finally realize that every deal matters. And every deal that has, you know, the buyers, sellers, agents, whatever, that team of people matters to getting to the closing table. And it's not just, well, like, you know, they came to me with a pre-approval already. I've taken so many calls. I've said, yeah, I already have a pre-approval letter, but my listing agent or my buyer's agent told me that I need to call you to get a second opinion right away. That I've got 2 on my desk already from this morning that I have to call back from this weekend. You know, that's just, I need to talk to my agents that I have to talk to make sure we're doing things right. So you can tell when that happens that they're nervous. They're nervous.
Well, I don't think, you know, I've been doing this 30 plus years. Again, I started when I was 8 years old. So you all can do the math, but I don't ever remember a market where I'm seeing now, and you know, Kristen, I work with some of the best agents in the country as well, where they are saying to me, Joel, I don't care that I go to the same country club as this person, the same church or whatever. I'm done. Like I'm done. I'm only working with great loan officers that know what they're doing. And it's interesting to hear you, to hear you say that, just echo that. That's what I'm hearing across the country, and in all 50 states, basically. That is literally what I'm hearing. And it's interesting to hear that. Now you're taking it one step further. They're solidifying their relationship with you. I have to tell you, loan officers are dropping like flies. And, that one deal that they do have, they do want to make sure it gets done. They do want to make sure it closes. And it's a very interesting thing going on in the market. A lot of times, Kristen, I'll meet new loan officers. They'll be like, oh, I'll start talking to Joel. I hate realtors. And I'll be like, okay, so what this means is that you don't understand what your job is. That's what it means. Like you're being adversarial with people you're supposed to be partnering with. So you clearly don't understand what your job is, and you clearly are probably partnering with the wrong people, and probably some of those agents that you don't like probably have a condescending attitude towards you because of all the people that have come before you, because all of us crazy loan officers that were trained and coached by who knows who, I'd like to, drop a rock on them, to like literally go cold call and go do dumb things all day with agents that make them, not want to talk to good loan officers, which is what we've been doing for years. My favorite moment, I'll never forget when I got in the business and someone in my office said, Joel, let me tell you what I do on Fridays. Here's what I do on Friday. I get 12 dozen donuts. And what I do is I take a box of donuts and I put my card on top. I tape my card to the top. Then I go in the real estate office and I leave the donuts with my card on top. Then I leave extra cards by the side. I'm like, do you talk to anyone? No. I just leave it and go. And I'm like, cool idea. How's that working for you? I mean, just the stupidest things ever that have made us just look so unprofessional forever that, it is the time to shine. I mean, what do they say? Billionaires are made in down markets, or whatever they say. I mean, if this is a down market, this is the time to show people, what you got. And Kristen, for example, those two deals you have sitting there, not to name any names, those are agents you're not actively working with, correct? They just meaning there's an agent on one side of that that you're not working with, meaning it was a listing agent that made them go, a buyer, somebody, but there's a new agent there, right?
Right.
On each one of those. Yes. So those are two opportunities immediately. And by the way, everyone, just so you're aware, Kristen will physically be in front of those opportunities as long as they're within 30 miles of where she is, probably within a week. Yes. So if that was you that lost that deal to her, she's going to be sitting in front of your agent partner very quickly, okay? And she knows what she's doing. Her closing loans, that's the easy part for her. Now she's going to be going to get to know your person, and it's not just her, it's everyone. I see a lot of faces right now that I know would do the same thing at 100 miles an hour and be very dangerous doing it. So Kristen, tell me, so the agents, it's interesting what you said about the agents. Tell me what you're doing to stay positive, what either changes you've made. I don't mean changes, but adaptations that you've made to how the business is right now. Just share that a little bit with everyone. We got people, the good loan officers are still maybe talking to 100 people to close 25 or 30 loans. That's 25, 30% pull through. That's a lot. Pulling credit on 100 people, not just, they might be talking to 130, but they're actually pulling credit on 100. That's a lot of work to close those loans. That's low pull through. That's where we are. How are you staying positive with that? Tell us a little bit about that.
So I have implemented this, and this is something I've held on to for a while, and you might think it's corny or not, but it gets me through. I start every day with gratitudes and affirmations, because I feel like no matter what you're doing, you could always use those in your life. And it's really hard to have a bad day when you start that way. And so I wake up, we write those out right away, just gets in a positive mood. And as far as that part is concerned, I look at my day, where we're going, what we're doing. I try to do something physical, whether it be yoga, take my dog for a walk, just something to help, again, just get that day started in a good way. And then it's really just about making calls and earning the relationship. And that is what is so lost in this industry right now, is earning the relationship. So it becomes so, in my mind, it becomes so transactional that, and it's funny because I have a few loan officers that I'm up against in my area, and they will spew out exactly what their coach said to them wherever they're getting coached. And then you ask them a question outside of it, and they cannot answer because they only know how to answer the way their coach told them to. And so you can spot them as far as you can go. And that's the easiest way to sell around it, right? Is that. But the other thing about it is I'm so busy right now because I am making sure I'm at every event. I'm at everything that whatever, I'm hosting events, I'm going to events. Education is huge. And I have found that's where my niche really has helped in the last few years is I don't want to just help you with your loan and get your deal closed for your buyers and, you know, yourself as a real estate agent. I also want to help educate you so that way you're writing better loans, you're writing better offers, you know exactly what's going to happen on the mortgage side because it's such a key component of it. And that's really, I think, what differentiated me over the last handful of years is the fact that while others walk, I'm running and I'm showing up everywhere because exactly like you said, you could go and you could present in front of a group of real estate agents and the next day somebody's going to go in behind you and they're going to be like, hey, wait a minute, I'm losing this deal. Can you help me? And I've already forgotten about you yesterday. So it takes multiple times of being in front of people and then earning their trust by closing deals on time and putting your mouth where your money is, or money where your mouth is, whatever, whichever way you want to put it, but actually
we know what you're saying.
Actually following through with what you say you're going to do. And once you do all those things together, they want to work with you because they trust and know that they're getting all of their work up until then. They're getting that paycheck when the deal closes. Otherwise, it's all volunteer work for them. And they need to know that at the end of the day, it's going to close for both their clients and themselves.
Yeah, Kristen said something pretty cool. She said, earning the relationship. And then she said, I'm everywhere. So those of you, you know, on this call in this market right now that have not had the conversation with your significant other, if you're serious about your job, that have not had this conversation, which Kristen, I would say pretty much everyone that works with me one-on-one has had, where they go their shit together and they go, hey, listen, I understand, you know, the whole, you know, the family first and all this, whatever, but look, I got to put my head down and I got to grind straight through, like, you know, see you at Thanksgiving kind of thing. Like, I'll see you in the morning when we start peeling potatoes, like it's all in. And by the way, then after Thanksgiving, like I'll see you when I see you, meaning it's, I'm not going to lose. And I keep telling people, Kristen, this is who you guys are competing against. And these people are not going to lose. They're just not going to lose. I mean, they will, someone that you would never think would be at some, you know, charity thing on a Sunday morning. You know, you look up and that loan officer standing and you're like, wow, you know, why are you here? You know, like you do 100 million a year. I don't even understand. Or sorry, you do 30 loans a month. It doesn't matter the volume. Why are you here? And they're there to win. Like they're not stopping. And I keep trying to explain to loan officers. That's why I love hearing you say this. Like, look, your real competitors, they are not taking their foot off the gas for a second. In fact, they're all in. They're running down the road at 100 miles an hour. Like they're not messing around. So if you think, oh, you're a little slow, they must be a little slow, or you're a little down in the dumps, they must be a little down in the dumps. Wrong. I can tell you they're not, because I'm talking to them and they are not. Their vision is, I want to mow down every loan officer I'm competing against anywhere near me, and I'll be the only person standing in April. Bring it. Like literally, that's, you know, that is their thought process. And I want to make sure you all heard, earning the relationship. You know, it's not transactional, it's relational. Again, I could go on for hours on this, Kristen, you know, because you've been through a crush group, you know this, but that's what it's all about. And if you think you're going to build that over the phone or with texting or whatever, you're just, or emailing, I'm just letting you know it's not going to happen. Again, most of you all have heard me say this, but for you new people, please everyone stand up, please everyone turn around. Please, everyone, look at your chair. And if it looks like an imprint of your ass, you have a problem, because you should not be sitting in your chair. You should be out. Okay, that is the last place you should be. You should be out. And you're hearing Kristen, who has massive market share in her market and the state of Wisconsin. She's out and doesn't have to be out. Also talked about education for the agents. She brought up contracts and things like that, which would tell you all technical education for the agents about what to do. And again, you know, not to put words in Kristen's mouth, but when she's educating agents, she's not like, you know, paying for a room, putting them in there, talking to them and exiting stage right. You can bet that's being worked back through very strategically to create the beginning of new relationships. She's not just doing that for her health, meaning she's doing that for the right reasons. So what about borrowers, Kristen? What are you doing to stay sticky? I know that this is a massive question and I even hesitate to ask it, but just a couple of things that you and your team do to stay sticky to people when you know they're going to come in, they're going to get pre-qualified or pre-approved, or you guys have a GR, you can, I forget what it's called, M something, whatever. You can completely approve them, you know, where you can do that thing as well. But we all know, for those of you that don't have that, it doesn't matter. I was completely approving borrowers, you know, just pulling credit, looking at docs and saying you're approved. Meaning if you're good, if you know what you're doing, you know, you know they're approved unless there's fraud in the file. What are you doing to stay sticky, Kristen? Because you know, it's going to take people a little longer to find a house. They might have to make multiple offers. What are you and your team doing to stay sticky from when the, we just did this in New Orleans with a bunch of my one-on-one people. We talked about lead to contract, and it was just awesome. Everyone was so into it about the little things loan officers are doing to be super sticky, you know, until we get them under contract. Tell these people a couple things you're doing, because I know you're talking. I know you got a lot of credit pulls every month.
Yes. So we're offering, I mean, it's as simple as, what house do you want? Send us the house, text it, email it, call us, whatever is easiest for you. I want to know what house you're looking at. I want to know what your purchase price is, and I want to run a payment for you. I want to run a payment and a closing cost scenario for you, or funds to close, because every house is different. Rates are constantly changing. I never want somebody to be surprised. So I mean, it might be 2 or 3 times the work to constantly change things, but that's just showing the borrowers, in my opinion.
So Kristen, after the pre-qual, sorry, I want to make sure everyone heard you. It's not sitting on the floor. Well, it used to sit on the floor in a manila folder, but in the cloud.
Yep.
Until you get a contract.
The Google Docs.
You are literally telling them, anything you look at, we want you to come to us, and we're going to run full numbers on everything.
Yes.
Okay. A lot of people aren't doing that because they think it's too much work.
Yep.
Why do you think that's not too much work?
Because with it being so phone call, I mean, rarely are people wanting to come in and sit in your office. So how else do you have that connection? It's too easy to lose people. But if you constantly tell them, you pick up your phone on the weekends, you run numbers for them, that kind of stuff, that's the way you have to be sticky nowadays is. And then in between, if I haven't heard from for a week or two, I pick up the phone, I'm like, hey, how is it going? I know there's not a lot on the market right now, but do you have something in mind that you want me to run for you? And then they'll be, oh yeah, but by the way, I wanted to ask you this question, where they probably wouldn't have called. And then in that space of a week or two, you're just allowing somebody else to come in and potentially take it from you, where if you've been that sticky, you've been with them, you've talked to them every week, you've run 25 scenarios for them, whatever the case may be, they now know you. They know your intention. They've learned who you are, because just like anything else, that borrower needs to know and like you as well as getting to earn that trust. And so if you can't do it face to face anymore, the only way you can do it is by working through them through the entire file, not just when you get the accepted offer. Like you said, that's the easy part. So we're working tirelessly to make sure anyone and everyone who's writing an offer feels comfortable when they're writing the offer, instead of being scared and then hoping for the best after.
So, you know, this is a common theme with the best loan officers right now. They have all ratcheted up what they're doing. You know, there are a lot of people that make these pride comments. Well, my team does this, my team does that. Now my team and this person does this and that. And then I start talking to these guerrilla loan officers closing 40 units a month. And they're like, no, I'm doing that now. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, no, that's my call. And I'm doing it on Zoom. I'm like, wait, what? You mean you're calling? They're like, yep, I'm making that call now, because I'm the best one to make that call. I'm not allowing that to get ground through. It's too important to my partners, and it's too important to my business. I don't want to lose any of that stuff. None of that's delegated anymore. Right. You know what I mean? It's interesting. And I have loan officers looking at me sideways, you know, that close 5 loans a month. They think they're too busy to do it. And I got someone standing to the right closing 30 loans, and they're doing it. Mm-hmm. You know, I just want to look at the 5 loaner person and just shake them and go, how is this person doing this and you're not? Like, I don't even understand. By the way, the person you're competing against is that person. Right. They're calling them. And you said something important. Those of you older people on here, Ed Brem, Mike Dunsky, you guys know that we've taken a lot of loan apps in person, because that's the way we used to do it. People would come in and they bring their docs and you get to sit with them. And if you were really, really good at your job, I prided myself in sitting with someone, handing that file in, and never touching it again, unless there was fraud in the file. I mean, I was doing LOXs in front of them with a pad, start writing, you know, when I was looking at their credit report, it was done. The whole file was done. But that experience is not had anymore. You're not sitting with someone that's pretty intimate to sit there and go through their documents with them. That's not going on anymore. So what are you doing in your business? You heard what Kristen's doing. What are you doing in your business to recreate that? Because that's very important, especially when they can get their hands on information that much quicker, especially when we know that agents are totally freaked out on each deal and they want to make sure they close. Kristen, I'm looking at the clock. Give us some words of wisdom for everyone going forward into the winter. You know, what are you telling loan officers that you work with or that are on your team or in your world to just keep their head up? What are you telling people to, you know, the old incredible attitude going forward?
Yeah, no, I think it's important. I started the year out saying to my team, it's going to be a down year, but that doesn't mean we have to be. And it's as simple as that. Just because it's going to be a down year does not mean you have to be, but you have to put in the work. It's a different kind of busy, but you have to be busy. And if you're not working, this is my opinion. So, but if you're not working 50 hours a week right now at a minimum, you're not giving it enough time. You were working 60, 80 hours a week when they were coming in hand over fist and you never had to make a call. Now you have to put in, you know, maybe a little less work, but more than 40 if this is truly a career and a lifestyle. If it's just so you can close some loans to, you know, pay your bills. And I'll be honest, Victor, our CEO, said it best. If you're trying to make your mortgage payment on one deal, you're in the wrong business right now. You're in the wrong business because it's not going to happen.
Yeah. It is, you know, you just said it. If you're not working, and, you know, to quote my friend Brian Minkow, those of you that know him or don't know him, people would ask him, Brian, what's your secret? Perennial, you know, top 5 Scotsman's guy forever. Brian, what's your secret? I work 40 hours a week. No, what's your secret? I work 40 hours a week. What's your secret? I work 40 hours a week. No, I'm working all 40 hours of the week, which means he works 100 hours a week, meaning he's actually doing stuff. He's not eating donuts or complaining for part of it. He's actually working. And I would translate, Kristen, what you said is actually working. 50, I mean, really working, you know, not pretending to work, not eating donuts, not doing activities that don't mean anything, not sitting around complaining about rates and underwriting and all that stuff, just actually working and grinding and putting your head down. And that's the message going forward. If you want to be standing strong in the spring, you've got to be putting that time in right now, and you got to put it in the right way. And again, I just said this, I think, Kristen, on a call you were on with me, that if you don't need a cup of hot water and lemon at the end of the day, you are not doing it right. You should have no voice, because sitting and texting and emailing people all day is not going to get you where you need to go. You should be talking to people all day. Go ahead. Yeah.
It's so funny that you bring that up, because I had a TikTok video out a couple weeks ago, and one of the trolls on it was like, how many packs of cigarettes a day do you need to smoke to sound like that? And I was like, this is just what the good Lord gave me. But because I have a raspy voice to begin with, but because I lose my voice from talking on the phone so much, when you say that, it resonates with me. So I just thought that was a funny, send back, because that is true. It's absolutely true.
And Kristen is very nice, and she's a give back person. So if you want to find her, actually on social, Kristen knows how to do her social media. So good person to follow if you want to see what she's up to. They do crazy racing. They race things fast where they are. Quarter something, I forget what it's called. But what's the racing team called? What's the racing called?
So it's my husband is a off-road racer. So in the short course series, so we race all over the Midwest, out west. And so it's Mid-America Outdoor or Champ Off-Road. So it's pretty cool. It's just like a short course form of desert racing, but it's pretty fun. So yes, we do that. And but one of the things I love about it too is we've turned that into a second office for me. When I'm at the track, everyone at the track knows to come to my RV and get pre-approved. And I can't tell you how many times I agree. So it doesn't stop because he's racing. In fact, it's a lifestyle. We've made it that way. And And we love it. We love it. It's what we do. So on Thursdays and Fridays, when we're at the track and they're testing and prepping and all that, people are in my RV with me getting pre-approved. So we just take it on the road with us wherever we go.
Nice. All right. Well, Kristen, thank you so much. We love
Thank
having
you.
you on. You guys, you can find it's Kristen, Ambos, Ambos with guaranteed rate in Wisconsin. All you gotta do is put those words in Google anywhere and she'll come up all over the place. Kristen, thank you so much. Everybody head down,
everyone.
push
Appreciate
forward.
it.
See everyone in 2 weeks. Thank you, Kristen.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.